B&B Spoilers Weekly Update. Ivy's discovery, Dylan oversteps Deacon's romance. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for the week of January 26th reveal some curveballs. For one thing, Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, sees something shocking. Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, and Dylan, Sydney Bullock, are about to cross boundaries. Plus, Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, kisses Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Steffi Forrester Finnegan surprise. Let's kick off this post with Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood. Fans just watched as Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, told Dylan that she was going on a business trip with Ivy. Electra wanted Dylan to spend that entire time locked in her room, away from Will. However, there will be a bit of a twist. At the last minute, Electra learns that Ivy isn't going on the trip after all. Instead, Steffi will accompany Electra. Dylan oversteps again. While Electra is in San Francisco with Steffi, Ivy won't be just working at the office. At some point, the lady stops by the beach house. When Ivy looks in the window, she is shocked. The woman sees Dylan and Will in a very close moment together. They are sitting on the couch and Dylan's face is very close to Will's. Ivy quickly looks away, shocked. However, will she tell Electra about what she saw? While Ivy knows Electra needs to know, she also won't want to ruin her business trip. Ivy knows that Electra will obsess the whole time until she comes back. So, Ivy might keep quiet about this for now, but not forever. Deacon Sharp's bold move. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for the week of January 26th reveal that Deacon's heart is divided. The man reunited with Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, but can't stop thinking about Taylor. After Hope Logan Spencer's Annika Noel encouragement, Deacon makes a bold move. The man will cup Taylor's face in his hands. As she stares at him like a headlight-struck deer, Deacon suddenly kisses her. Deacon also asks Taylor out on a date. So, I have to wonder what excuse Deacon will make when he has to go have a quiet dinner alone with Taylor. I imagine everyone will try to make sure that Sheila doesn't find out the truth. However, secrets never stayed buried forever in soaps. When Sheila learns the truth, will she really target Taylor? Or could Sheila have changed so much that she reacts completely unexpectedly? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of January 26th, 2026? B&B Spoilers Weekly Update. Ivy's discovery, Dylan oversteps Deacon's romance. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for the week of January 26th reveal some curveballs. For one thing, Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, sees something shocking. Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, and Dylan, Sydney Bullock, are about to cross boundaries. Plus, Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, kisses Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Steffi Forrester Finnegan surprise. Let's kick off this post with Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood. Fans just watched as Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, told Dylan that she was going on a business trip with Ivy. Electra wanted Dylan to spend that entire time locked in her room, away from Will. However, there will be a bit of a twist. At the last minute, Electra learns that Ivy isn't going on the trip after all. Instead, Steffi will accompany Electra. Dylan oversteps again. While Electra is in San Francisco with Steffi, Ivy won't be just working at the office. At some point, the lady stops by the beach house. When Ivy looks in the window, she is shocked. The woman sees Dylan and Will in a very close moment together. They are sitting on the couch and Dylan's face is very close to Will's. Ivy quickly looks away, shocked. However, will she tell Electra about what she saw? While Ivy knows Electra needs to know, she also won't want to ruin her business trip. Ivy knows that Electra will obsess the whole time until she comes back. So, Ivy might keep quiet about this for now, but not forever. Deacon Sharp's bold move. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for the week of January 26th reveal that Deacon's heart is divided. The man reunited with Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, but can't stop thinking about Taylor. After Hope Logan Spencer's Annika Noel encouragement, Deacon makes a bold move. The man will cup Taylor's face in his hands. As she stares at him like a headlight-struck deer, Deacon suddenly kisses her. Deacon also asked Taylor out on a date. So, I have to wonder what excuse Deacon will make when he has to go have a quiet dinner alone with Taylor. I imagine everyone will try to make sure that Sheila doesn't find out the truth. However, secrets never stayed buried forever in soaps. When Sheila learns the truth, will she really target Taylor? Or could Sheila have changed so much that she reacts completely unexpectedly? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of January 26th, 2026? The sun sets over the Pacific, casting long, dramatic shadows across the Forrester and Spencer estates, but the real darkness is brewing indoors. Today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful B&B wasn't just another day of fashion and flirtation. It was a heartbreaking collision of betrayal, forbidden passion, and a discovery that could shatter families. From the shores of the beach house to the tension-filled offices of Forrester Creations, the stakes have never been higher. If you missed today's emotional roller coaster, grab some tissues. Here is everything you need to know about the very sad news regarding Ivy's discovery, Dylan's massive overstep, and the dangerous game Deacon and Taylor are playing. Ivy's heartbreaking discovery, a witness to betrayal. For years, Ivy Forrester has been the moral compass of the family, often the one to spot a disaster before it strikes. Today, she didn't just spot a disaster. She walked right into the middle of one. While Electra Forrester is away in San Francisco on a high-stakes business trip with Steffi, trying to secure the future of their jewelry line, she left her heart behind in Los Angeles. She trusted her friend Dylan and her boyfriend, Will Spencer, to respect the boundaries of her relationship. But as soap fans know, trust is the most fragile currency in this town. Ivy, stopping by the beach house to check on things, peered through the window only to have her world, and Electra's, turned upside down. She witnessed an unmistakably intimate moment between Will and Dylan. The sad news here isn't just the potential end of a relationship. It's the death of a friendship. Ivy now carries the crushing weight of a secret that will devastate her niece. The look of pure shock and grief on Ivy's face as she watched the betrayal unfold was enough to break anyone's heart. Dylan oversteps when help turns to sabotage. How did we get here? Dylan has been the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing, claiming she only wanted to help Will with chores and repay his kindness for letting her stay at the beach house. She has systematically chipped away at his loyalty to Electra. Today, Dylan's overstepping reached a point of no return. Using Electra's absence as a weapon, she orchestrated a cozy evening that went far beyond friendly housemates. The calculated move, Dylan leveraged a moment of Will's vulnerability, feeling neglected by Electra's work schedule, to position herself as his primary support system. The physical line, it wasn't just talk. The physical proximity. Today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful proved anything. It's that heartbreak doesn't knock politely in Los Angeles. It crashes straight through the front door. Emotions ran raw. Secrets refused to stay buried, and choices made in haste left lasting scars. From Ivy Forrester's devastating discovery, to Dylan pushing far beyond what anyone can excuse, to Deacon Sharp's once promising romance unraveling in slow motion. This was one of those days that leaves fans staring at the screen long after the credits roll. This wasn't just sad. It was the kind of sad that lingers. Ivy Forrester's discovery changes everything. For Ivy Forrester, the day began with hope, or at least cautious optimism. After months of feeling like an outsider in a family that once felt like home, Ivy had been trying to rebuild her footing, both professionally and emotionally. She believed that honesty, patience, and time might finally bring clarity. Instead, she found the truth. Ivy's discovery wasn't loud or explosive. There was no dramatic confrontation, no shouting match in the halls of Forrester Creations. What made it so devastating was how quiet it was. A document left open, a conversation overheard, a puzzle piece snapping into place far too late. The realization hit Ivy all at once. She had been kept in the dark again. Whether it was about business dealings that directly affected her future or personal decisions made behind her back, the message was painfully clear. Ivy wasn't trusted. Worse, she wasn't considered important enough to be told the truth. Her face said it all. Shock gave way to disbelief. Then to that hollow look fans know too well, the one that means a character's heart has just cracked in two. This discovery doesn't just hurt Ivy emotionally. It threatens her sense of identity. Ivy has always prided herself on being strong, capable, and worthy of her place in the Forrester legacy. To learn that people she cared about chose secrecy over honesty sends her spiraling into self-doubt. And perhaps the saddest part? Ivy doesn't immediately lash out. She internalizes the pain, carrying it quietly like a weight on her chest. That kind of sadness is dangerous. It festers. Fans can already see where this is heading. A reckoning is coming. But by the time Ivy confronts the truth, the damage may already be irreversible. Dylan oversteps, and there's no undoing it. While Ivy was absorbing her heartbreak in silence, Dylan was busy making a mistake that may define her future in the worst possible way. Dylan has never been subtle. She's ambitious, assertive, and often convinced that she knows what's best, even when she doesn't. But today, Dylan crossed a line that can't be erased with apologies or excuses. What started as help quickly turned into interference. Dylan inserted herself into a situation that wasn't hers to control, speaking out of turn, acting on assumptions, and ultimately making decisions that affected other people's lives without their consent. The moment it happened, there was a shift. The air changed. Even those who had previously defended Dylan looked stunned. This wasn't confidence. It was entitlement. Dylan's overstep didn't just complicate matters. It actively hurt someone who was already vulnerable. And in a world like B&B, where trust is fragile and loyalty is everything, that kind of betrayal leaves deep wounds. What makes this especially painful is that Dylan may not even fully grasp the consequences yet. She seems convinced that her intentions will somehow justify her actions. But intentions don't heal broken trust. Instead, Dylan has placed herself on the wrong side of history and possibly the wrong side of relationships that once mattered to her. Fans are already divided. Some see Dylan as a tragic figure, spiraling under pressure. Others see her as reckless and selfish, finally revealing her true colors. Either way, today marked a turning point. There's no going back to who Dylan was before this moment. Deacon Sharp's romance begins to crumble. And then there's Deacon Sharp, forever walking the line between redemption and relapse. For a while, it looked like Deacon had finally found something real. His romance offered a glimpse of stability, of hope, of a man trying to be better than his past mistakes. He smiled more. He listened. He seemed settled. Today shattered that illusion. The sadness in Deacon's storyline isn't about betrayal or explosive drama. It's about realization. The quiet understanding that love alone isn't enough when baggage goes unpacked and wounds go unhealed. A single conversation exposed the cracks. Unspoken fears surfaced. Old patterns reemerged. And suddenly, the future Deacon had been imagining felt painfully out of reach. What hurts the most is that Deacon wants this to work. You can see it in his eyes, hear it in his voice. But wanting something doesn't magically make you ready for it. His partner sees the warning signs too, and that's where the heartbreak truly settles in. There's disappointment there. Not anger, not hatred, just the sorrow of realizing that someone you care about may not be able to meet you where you stand. Deacon's past has always been his shadow. Today it caught up to him again. The question now isn't whether Deacon will fight for this romance, but whether it's already too late. 3 stories, 1 theme, loss. What ties Ivy, Dylan, and Deacon together in today's very sad episode is loss. Ivy loses trust in people she believed in. Dylan loses credibility and possibly the respect of those around her. Deacon risks losing love he wasn't sure he deserved, but desperately wanted to keep. These aren't flashy losses. They're emotional, internal, and deeply human. And that's what makes them hit so hard. There are no easy villains here. Just people making choices, coping poorly, and facing consequences they didn't fully anticipate. What comes next on B&B? If today was about realization, tomorrow will be about reaction. Ivy won't stay silent forever. When she finally speaks her truth, it could send shockwaves through Forrester Creations and beyond. Dylan may double down or finally face the damage she's caused. Either path leads to fallout. And Deacon? He stands at crossroads. Will he confront his demons head-on or retreat into old habits when things get painful? One thing is certain. The sadness unfolding now is setting the stage for major upheaval. Relationships will be tested, alliances will shift, and some bonds may never fully recover. Final thoughts. A heavy day for B&B fans. Today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful wasn't easy to watch, and that's exactly why it mattered. It reminded viewers that behind the glamour and drama are deeply flawed people trying to navigate love, loyalty, and self-worth. Ivy's quiet heartbreak, Dylan's dangerous misstep, and Deacon's fading romance combined into a powerful, emotional hour that left fans aching. This wasn't just soap drama. It was raw, uncomfortable, and painfully real that if today was about realization, tomorrow will be about reaction. Ivy won't stay silent forever. When she finally speaks her truth, it could send shockwaves through Forrester Creations and beyond. Dylan may double down or finally face the damage she's caused. Either path leads to fallout. And Deacon? He stands at a crossroads. Will he confront his demons head-on or retreat into old habits when things get painful? One thing is certain. The sadness unfolding now is setting the stage for major upheaval. Relationships will be tested, alliances will shift, and some bonds may never fully recover. Final thoughts. A heavy day for B&B fans. Today's episode delivers the kind of gut punch the bold and the beautiful fans dread. The kind that sneaks up quietly, then leaves devastation in its wake. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, the woman known for standing tall in the face of chaos, is blindsided by a surprise that changes everything. What begins as an ordinary day quickly spirals into heartbreak, fear, and unanswered questions. And by the time the truth surfaces, nothing feels safe anymore. For Steffi, surprises are usually strategic. She plans, protects, and prepares. But this time, the universe moves faster than she can. And the result? A revelation that cuts straight to the core of her family, her marriage, and her own sense of security. A calm before the storm. The day starts deceptively calm. Steffi is in her element, focused, composed, and determined. Whether at Forrester Creations or at home with Finn and the kids, she's been trying to restore balance after months of emotional warfare. Sheila's shadow still looms large, but Steffi has convinced herself that vigilance and distance are enough. For a moment, it feels like she might be right. There's laughter, there's routine, there's even hope, and then everything shatters. A phone call, a knock at the door, a conversation that was never supposed to happen. However it arrives, the surprise hits Steffi without warning, and the look on her face says it all. This is not something she can outrun. The surprise no one expected. What makes this moment especially devastating is not just what Steffi learns, but how. The truth doesn't come gently. It crashes in, raw and unforgiving, leaving Steffi struggling to breathe as the implications unfold in real time. This surprise is deeply personal. It's not business. It's not a rivalry. It's not even an old wound reopening. It's something current, immediate, dangerous, and worst of all, it involves people Steffi loves. The realization that something has been happening behind her back sends her mind racing. Every recent conversation replays in her head. Every reassurance suddenly feels hollow. Every promise now carries a question mark. Was she naive? Was she wrong to trust? Or was this betrayal inevitable all along? Steffi's world starts to crack. Steffi Forrester Finnegan has survived a lot: shootings, betrayals, toxic romances, and relentless enemies. But this surprise hits differently because it attacks the one place she believed was untouchable: her family's safety. Her instincts kick in fast. The protective mother, the furious wife, the Forrester who refuses to be blindsided twice. But even with all her strength, the emotional toll is obvious. Her voice shakes. Her eyes fill. Her certainty wavers. This isn't just a problem to solve. It's a nightmare she has to feel. And for the first time in a long time, Steffi doesn't immediately know what the right move is. Finn caught in the middle again. Dr. John Finn Finnegan finds himself in a painfully familiar position, torn between the woman he loves and the complications that seem to follow his bloodline like a curse. As Steffi reels from the surprise, Finn is forced to confront the reality that his attempts to keep peace may have cost him his wife's trust. Finn's reaction is layered. Shock, guilt, fear, and denial all collide at once. He never meant for Steffi to be hurt. He never meant for things to escalate. But intentions mean little when consequences are this severe. Steffi looks at Finn differently now. Not with hatred, but with disappointment. And in Bold and the Beautiful universe, disappointment is often far more dangerous. Sheila's shadow returns, whether she's there or not. Even if Sheila Carter isn't physically present, her influence is undeniable. Any surprise tied to Finn's world inevitably traces back to her chaos. Steffi has spent years fighting to keep Sheila away from her family, and today's news feels like proof that danger doesn't need permission to return. The cruel irony? Steffi did everything right. She set boundaries. She issued warnings. She trusted her instincts. And still, here they are. This raises the most terrifying question of all. If Sheila's reach extends this far, is anyone truly safe? A mother's worst fear. As Steffi processes the surprise, her thoughts go immediately to Kelly and Hayes. The pain in her eyes isn't just about betrayal or shock, it's fear. Pure, visceral fear. Every parent's nightmare is realizing too late that their children might be at risk. And Steffi refuses to let that happen. Her resolve hardens. Tears dry. Her posture straightens. Whatever the surprise is, it will not define her family's future. But strength doesn't erase sadness. And today the sadness is heavy. The Forrester family reacts. News spreads quickly, and reactions ripple through the Forrester clan. Ridge is furious at the situation, at Finn, at the forces that keep hurting his daughter. Taylor is heartbroken, once again watching Steffi carry pain that feels unfair and relentless. Brooke worries about the long-term fallout. Eric fears another fracture in the family. Everyone senses that this moment is a turning point. The surprise doesn't just affect Steffi, it destabilizes the entire foundation. Love under pressure. As the shock settles, the biggest question looms. Can Steffi and Finn survive this? Their love has endured extreme tests before, but this one cuts deep because it challenges trust, transparency, and safety all at once. Steffi needs answers. Finn needs forgiveness, and neither knows if the other can give what's required. There's love here, no doubt about that, but love alone may not be enough this time. Sometimes, even the strongest bonds crack under the weight of secrets and surprises. A silent decision forms. By the end of the day, Steffi isn't shouting. She isn't lashing out. She's quiet, and that silence is telling. Steffi Forrester Finnegan is thinking. And when Steffi thinks, major moves follow. Whether it's distance, confrontation, or a drastic decision to protect her children, one thing is clear. She will not stay passive. This surprise may have shaken her, but it has also awakened something fierce. The calm is gone. The stakes are higher than ever, and the fallout is only beginning. Final thoughts. A sad day with lasting consequences. Today's very sad news marks one of the most emotionally charged moments in Steffi Forrester Finnegan's journey. A surprise she never saw coming has reopened wounds, tested loyalties, and forced her to face fears she hoped were long buried. For viewers, it's heartbreaking. For Steffi, it's life-altering. Sometimes, even the strongest bonds crack under the weight of secrets and surprises. A silent decision forms. By the end of the day, Steffi isn't shouting. She isn't lashing out. She's quiet, and that silence is telling. Steffi Forrester Finnegan is thinking. And when Steffi thinks, major moves follow. Whether it's distance, confrontation, or a drastic decision to protect her children, one thing is clear. She will not stay passive. This surprise may have shaken her, but it has also awakened something fierce. The calm is gone. The stakes are higher than ever, and the fallout is only beginning. Final thoughts. A sad day with lasting consequences. Today's very sad news marks one of the most emotionally charged moments in Steffi Forrester Finnegan's journey. A surprise she never saw coming has reopened wounds, tested loyalties, and forced her to face fears she hoped were long buried. For viewers, it's heartbreaking. For Steffi, it's the high-stakes world of the bold and the beautiful. Few characters command the screen like Steffi Forrester Finnegan. But today, the fashion mogul and mother is at the center of a whirlwind that has fans reeling. The latest developments surrounding Steffi, Taylor, and the looming shadow of Sheila Carter have reached a fever pitch, leaving viewers asking, is this the beginning of the end for Steffi's hard-won peace? The breaking point, Steffi's worst nightmare realized. 4 months, Steffi has been the rock of the Forrester family, balancing her role at Forrester Creations with her devotion to her husband, Dr. John Finn Finnegan. However, the very sad news making waves today isn't about a business failure. It's about the safety of her mother, Taylor Hayes. Steffi has recently made a horrifying discovery that has left her absolutely terrified. Her mother, Taylor, has not only been treating Deacon Sharp as a patient, but has developed deep, romantic feelings for him. For Steffi, this isn't just a breach of professional ethics, it's a death sentence. Deacon is currently married to Sheila Carter, the woman who shot both Steffi and Finn, the woman who has terrorized their family for decades. A mother's defiance, a daughter's tears. In emotional scenes that aired leading into this week, Steffi pleaded with Taylor to drop Deacon. "She will kill you, Mom," Steffi warned, her voice cracking with the weight of past trauma. But Taylor, feeling a connection she hasn't felt since Ridge, remained firm. The tragedy lies in the breakdown of communication. Steffi feels she is losing her mother to a delusion of saving Deacon, while Taylor feels Steffi is overstepping. This rift is the sad news haunting fans today, the sight of a once unbreakable mother-daughter bond fracturing under the pressure of Sheila's inevitable wrath. The San Francisco twist, a temporary escape? To clear her head and focus on business, Steffi has made a surprise move. Spoilers for Monday, January 26th, 2026, reveal that Steffi is throwing a major twist into the company's plans. Instead of staying in Los Angeles to continue the fight with Taylor, she is heading to San Francisco. The mission, a high-profile jewelry presentation for socialite Dottie, played by the returning Morgan Fairchild. The surprise, Steffi is taking Electra Forrester's place on the trip, perhaps seeking a geographic cure for the stress at home. The guest stars, fans can expect to see icons like Jim J. Bullock and even a cameo from Spencer Pratt during this Northern California arc. But while the change of scenery offers a glitzy distraction, the sadness follows her. Finn is left behind in L.A., struggling with his own guilt over his biological mother, Sheila. The distance between Steffi and Finn is growing, and history in soaps tells us that physical distance often leads to emotional disaster. Why fans are worried, the Sheila factor. The true sadness in today's news is the realization that Sheila Carter is being pushed toward her old self. As Sheila begins to suspect that another woman has her eye on Deacon, the countdown to chaos has officially begun. Steffi is more aware than anyone of the lines Sheila can cross when she goes off the rails. Her fear isn't just drama, it's survival. If Sheila discovers that her friend Taylor is the one Deacon is kissing, yes, a sinful smooch is teased for this week. The fallout will be legendary. Steffi's intuition has always been her greatest strength, and her current state of high alert suggests that a major tragedy is looming on the horizon for the Forresters. What's next for Steffi Forrester? As we move into February sweeps, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Steffi's trip to San Francisco provide the clarity she needs, or will she return to a home in ruins? Key storylines to watch. The Taylor-Deacon kiss. If Steffi finds out they've crossed the line, will she ever forgive her mother? Finn's dilemma. Will Finn finally choose a side, or will his hesitation cost him his marriage? The Logan secret. While Steffi is away, Eric and Katie are hiding a massive design secret that could shift the power balance at Forrester Creations. The today very sad news isn't a goodbye to Steffi, but a somber reflection on how much she has to lose. Jacqueline McInnes continues to deliver Emmy-worthy performances as a woman trying to hold back the tide of a brewing storm.